Namaste everyone and happy Diwali to all. Diwali के लिए तो we always make some sweets at home और आज मैं आपके लिए गुलाब जामुन बना रहा हूँ. But gulab jamun is a very ordinary dessert, very common dessert. So I'm going to do something different. I'll first make gulab jamun for you to show you how a gulab jamun is made, and after that I'm going to make a fancy parfait. So let's get started with the gulab jamun. So for the gulab jamun, I have some milk powder here. I'm making it milk powder. You can also make this with khoya, but today I'm using milk powder, and I have some all-purpose flour, which is maida, and this is just a little bit of baking soda. So first we take all our dry ingredients, and the quantities obviously I mentioned below. You can see them, and I'll put my maida in there. I'm going to reserve just a little bit for later, thoda sa bilkul, and the rest of it goes in there. And this is baking soda. We need a nice large pinch of it. Maybe that's good. And now we'll give this a good stir. And what we need is a nice consistency that is firm and soft, but not sticky and not too dry. That's when you get the best gulab jamun. So first we're going to add now approximately 2 spoons of this desi ghee. Look at that color. Homemade is always the best ghee. And if you like and comment below, then I might be able to convince Anu to show you how to make desi ghee at home. Okay, so my ghee is mixed in there. Now I'm going to add milk slowly. I have 1 cup milk here, but let's just see how much we need. Okay, so we'll add a little bit of milk in the middle and fold it in so it all mixes together. You can do this with hand also, but with hand what happens is you end up kneading it, like pressing it too hard. Now if you press it too hard, it releases the gluten, and we don't want gluten in gulab jamun, because if you have gluten, then it becomes a little hard. And it's almost there, but just maybe a little bit more milk. So let's say you put extra milk. What do? If you have put extra milk, that's why I've saved this extra bit over here. We'll just add more flour and get it back to the right consistency. But this is looking good right now. By the time I mix it, I think it should be just right. So look at my gulab jamun mix. Perfect, nice consistency. So when you touch it like this, it shouldn't stick to your hands. You see that? It's not sticking. So now we're ready to make our gulab jamun shape. Now if need be, you can take a little bit of oil. Thoda sa bilkul, just like that. Touch oil on your hand and you grease your palm so it doesn't stick to your hand, right? So thoda sa nikal ke, and we want nice big round juicy gulab jamun, so I'm going to be generous with the size today. I will make it, maybe that's too much, just a little bit less. So, and these of course, the size is whatever you want. Now don't press too hard on it, just gently roll between your hands, your palms rather, and try and get a nice round shape. Just make sure there are no cracks anywhere when you do it, right? That's the most important thing. If there are cracks, you can always fix them like this. Just kind of pinch it together to fix the cracks, and then roll again. So by doing this, if there are cracks, then it's going to fall apart in your oil, and you won't have round gulab jamuns. You'll just have gulab jamun batter all over your oil, and that's never fun. Okay, so I have 9 nice large ones and 1 small one. So if you make them all about the same size, which is usually slightly smaller, you should get about 1 dozen, 12 to 14 gulab jamuns with this recipe and these proportions. So what we want to do is we'll cover this and keep it gently, don't press down on it, and leave it here. In the meantime, let's start with the chashni, sugar syrup. Now this sugar syrup, you cannot make it too thick because the sugar will crystallize, and if it's too thin, then the gulab jamuns are not going to soak up the sugar syrup properly. So it has to be just right. So the first key is equal parts of water and sugar. So today I have 2 cups of water over here. I'm going to add to that 2 cups of sugar, elaichi or cardamom. So I have just opened these up so the seeds come out and the flavor goes into my sugar water. So I'll toss that in there. And I'm also today going to put a little bit, maybe 3 or 4 kesars in there, saffron. And now we'll let this come to a boil while stirring it gently. So our chashni sugar water has been going for about 15 minutes, and you can see it's starting to get syrupy. See that consistency? That's what we want over there. So now we'll put a little bit of lemon juice to make sure there's no crystallization when we turn this off. Just a little bit. I think that should be enough. That's about 1/4 teaspoon I've added. And this is rose water, which is more flavor than anything else. So we'll put some rose water in there. And let me give it a stir. I think we can thicken this just a little bit more now. Now that we've added lemon juice, you don't have to worry about crystallization. So let's get a little thicker. So when I look at this, it should be a little syrupy and it's still slightly watery. So let it go on the side. In the meantime, we can fry our gulab jamuns. So let's get started on that. I have some oil over here. You can use desi ghee, it gives a good flavor, but I'm using oil today. And this is just normal vegetable oil, saffron. You can use whatever oil you want. So we'll look at our gulab jamun rolls now, little circles. And you can see, I'll pick one up. You can see the bottom is a little flat. That's natural, don't worry. So you take it and re-roll it. So that's it. If you just do this gently between your palms, you'll get back your nice round shape. And I think my oil is hot enough. You can test it if you want. One of the tests is take a small piece. So I'll take my smallest one here first. And you just drop a little piece. It should start floating to the top slowly. And it looks like it's hot. My oil is about right. So this is that's the one I just made. So I'm going to put it in there. And you can put about 5 or 6 in this pot this size. 5 or 6 at a time should be good. Don't put too many. And you want the oil medium hot because you want it to gulab jamun to cook through on the inside. If it's too hot, it's going to get too dark. And if it's not hot enough, then obviously it'll absorb a lot of unnecessary oil which you don't want. Okay, so you can see I have some nice gulab jamuns over here that are fried, and you can get them a little darker. This is also fine. This color also is okay. Both should be fine. So don't worry too much about that. You just don't want it black. And my sugar water chashni is the right consistency. It's a syrupy pouring consistency. Look at that. I'm just showing you what the consistency is supposed to be like. Okay, and it shouldn't be, when you touch it, it should be hot, but not burn your fingers. So that's about the right temperature. So now we just take our gulab jamuns and pop them in there. And these have to soak now for at least about 2 to 3 hours. The longer the better. And once it's soaking, they'll get all those nice sugar syrup juiciness in there. And that is what will make it, it'll fluff up even more than it is now. So we'll just coat them nicely. Okay, so now we're going to move on to making our Gulab Jamun Parfait. This is our Gulab Jamuns. Look how they come out. They're perfect and nicely soaked, and you can still see some nice sugar syrup over there. So first thing I'll do, I've already cut one over here to show you what I'm going to do. This is, now I'm going to cut them into little slices that are going to go in a glass, and then we'll assemble it as a parfait. So to do that, gently, don't do it too hard, it might break. So take a nice sharp knife and start cutting slowly. And if you don't have a good cutting board, you can also just do it by hand. So another way to do it is you just hold it in your hand over here and gently, because your hands tend to soften the edges, right? So what will happen when you do that is you will be able to get nice clear slices like that. So I've cut my gulab jamun, you can see, into slices. And I also have some saffron water. This is saffron soaked in warm water for about 30 minutes or so. And when you do that, you get a nice rich color. And this is dahi, that's thick dahi. So if you're making homemade dahi and have some water in it, you just hang it for some time to remove the water and drain it, because you want a thick consistency. So to this I'm going to add my saffron to get a nice color. Look at that. The color is already beautiful. And I'm also going to add a little bit of rose water to it. Just a little bit. Because we don't want it to get too thin. So that should be good. And now let's whisk this together to get a nice smooth consistency. Okay? That is good. Now to this I'm also going to add some fresh cream. It gives a nice creamy consistency. And I love Amul products, so I'm using Amul cream. But you can use any cream that you like. So about 2 or 3 tablespoons, not too much. And I think that should do it. And whisk again. Beautiful. So I like my consistency now. That's my cream. So now all we have to do is assemble this. To assemble, you take a glass, any glass is fine. Now this one is a large glass, so this is going to be for sharing. After all, Diwali is about sharing and caring. So gently place in the bottom of your glass. Try not to get on the sides. If you do, no big deal. So we'll build about, I think 3 spoons should be good. We need one more layer. So there you go. So I've got a little bit of my cream. Then I'm going to add 1 layer of my gulab jamun on there. And we maybe use about 4 pieces. Let's see how much we're going to need. Now I'm going to add my second layer of cream. Now at this point you can also add some honey if you want, but I think it makes it too sweet. So we're trying to make a nice balanced dessert. A little bit of khattapan from the dahi, sourness, and a little bit of sweet, a lot of sweet actually, from the gulab jamun. Now I'll add one more layer of gulab jamun on there. And this time I'm going to use maybe 5. I love gulab jamun. And this is something, you do it according to you, whatever you want. You like 3, 4, 5, 6, do whatever you want. That's the best part of this, there's no rules. Now I'll put my balance of my yogurt cream, dahi cream mixture. And you don't need too much for the top layer, just a little bit. This is not going to fill the glass, and we don't want it to fill the glass. This is good enough. Okay, so now I'm going to pick it up and show you. You can see a little bit of gulab jamun showing everywhere, cream showing everywhere. That's a beautiful dessert. So now for my last layer, what I'm going to do is I have some cream cheese over here. So I'll put some cream cheese on top. It's Diwali. Let's be decadent. Why not? So drop some in there, make a nice pattern, however you want it. I'm just going around my rim slowly. At the end, this is a Gulab Jamun Parfait, so we're going to show Gulab Jamun in there. So let's put a few pieces. I've cut these into little triangles. So one maybe there. And just for some color, I have raspberries. You can use raspberry, strawberry, or don't use anything, doesn't matter. Drop one in the middle. And what is Diwali without some good dry fruits? So I have some shaved badam and chocolate chips over here. This is Amul dark chocolate. Use any chocolate you like. And we're going to randomly, there's no pattern to this. So just take it in your hand like this and just drop it all over. So that's it, folks. There you have it. A beautiful dessert for Diwali. Happy Diwali, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you next time.